Russian President Vladimir Putin's recent announcement on December 6 that Russia intends to supply Belarus with Oresnik intermediate-range ballistic missiles marks a significant escalation in the already tense security dynamics between Russia, Belarus, and NATO. The missiles, a key component of Russia's growing military integration with Belarus, will likely have wide-ranging implications for European security, particularly along NATO's eastern frontier. This announcement also underscores the deepening military ties between Moscow and Minsk, a relationship that has become increasingly pivotal as both nations face heightened tensions with the West. Putin revealed that Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko had formally requested the acquisition of such advanced missile systems, citing the context of their nuclear sharing agreement.
Nuclear component in their warheads.
There has been some dispute as to whether the Oresnik meets the accepted understanding of what an ICBM actually is. It has been classified by Western governments as an intermediate-range ballistic missile, IRBM. The Kremlin claims the missile is unstoppable, and it certainly poses a grave threat given the speed at which it found its target 15 minutes from Kapustin Yar, in Russia's Astrakhan region, to Dnipro in central Ukraine, about 900 km away. The equivalent in NATO's arsenal would be the Minuteman III IRBM system that is primarily designed for the delivery of nuclear weapons. It is not clear if this missile system is capable of carrying and delivering conventional ordnance as well as nuclear warheads. The exact type of missile remains unknown. Russian President Vladimir Putin described it as a new weapon called Oresnik, claiming it has extraordinary characteristics. It's a strategic medium-range missile, but it doesn't carry a nuclear payload. Its warheads lack explosive material, destroying targets, including fortified ones, through kinetic energy, like a meteorite. The missile and its warheads are impossible to intercept, as they approach their targets at a speed of Mach 10. Of all these claims, only one is certain. A medium-range ballistic missile, with a range of up to 5,000 kilometers, or 3,100 miles, was used in the attack. Officially, Russia didn't have such a weapon before 2019, as their development was prohibited under the 1987 Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, INF Treaty, between the US and the USSR. Until 2018, Moscow maintained an appearance of compliance with the treaty, though the US alleged that the RS-26 Rubesh, which Russia classified as an intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, didn't meet the treaty's definition. This pact, established in the wake of Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine, allows Belarusian forces to train with Russian nuclear weapons stationed on Belarusian soil. In times of war, Belarusian personnel would be authorized to take control of these weapons, effectively shifting a portion of Russia's nuclear arsenal to the control of its ally. For years, Belarus has been used as a staging ground for Russian military assets, but the recent push to bring intermediate-range ballistic missiles under Belarusian control adds a new and more provocative layer to this military partnership. While Russia has long maintained military facilities in Belarus, the deployment of these missiles directly onto Belarusian soil represents a further step in militarizing the region. By mid-2025, these missiles are expected to be operational, pending the resolution of several technical challenges, particularly regarding their minimum range and the security parameters for their deployment. In the larger geopolitical context, the Oresnik missiles are likely to be viewed by NATO as a direct challenge to the alliance's defensive capabilities in Eastern Europe. The potential positioning of these missiles along Belarus' western border brings Russia's military muscle even closer to the heart of Europe, further complicating the security landscape for NATO member states, particularly Poland and the Baltic nations. The missiles will not only expand Russia's missile reach but also enhance Belarus' ability to act as a forward base for Russian military operations, which could have serious consequences in the event of a broader conflict between NATO and Russia. The decision to place these missiles in Belarus comes at a time when the West is already focused on Russia's aggressive military posturing across Europe. The war in Ukraine has highlighted the extent to which Russia is willing to challenge NATO, using both conventional and nuclear capabilities as leverage in its standoff with the West. By pushing these weapons into Belarus, Putin is signaling his willingness to further escalate tensions, reinforcing the Kremlin's strategy of maintaining a buffer zone between itself and NATO. While Russia has framed its military expansions as defensive in nature, the West sees them as increasingly provocative. Additionally, the deployment of Oresnik missiles has significant implications for the security architecture of Eastern Europe. The Oresnik system, capable of striking targets up to 3,000 kilometers away, can reach key NATO territories, including Poland, Romania, and even parts of Germany. With Belarus under the growing influence of Russia, these missiles will not only extend Moscow's reach but also undermine the stability of the region. NATO's deterrence strategy has relied on a balance of power that, until now, has been maintained through a series of diplomatic and military measures aimed at curbing Russian influence in the area. The arrival of these missiles on Belarusian soil will undoubtedly shift that balance and raise the stakes for future confrontations.